Welcome to the Coaches Show. I'm Kevin Paulus. It's Taylor Jacobsen. And Taylor, kind of putting a wrap on the season. Let's talk a little bit about it. You guys finished the year 13-14, number 7 seed in the postseason tournament. Just talk in general about the season.
Yeah, I think it was a really good season. I think we had a lot of lows and then highs, but just like tons of growth and a lot of learning. And I don't know, I think that this season was very special in how it ended because we just went on that run at the end, made our way into playoffs, did things, checked off about 3 of our goals that we had that I think at some points we didn't know if we would be able to accomplish. So it was really fun just like see the hard work and then see us accomplish the things we really wanted to do.
And talk about those 3 goals. What were they that you accomplished there late in the year?
One of them was the average under 15 turnovers a game, which we did not start off strong on. Right. We did way better in the second half. The other one was to make the playoffs, which we ended up doing. The other one was to win playoffs, which we did not do, but that's okay. That's for another year.
He got there.
Yep. And then the other one was for us to have the most rebounds, out-rebound the opponent that we had.
Okay.
So nice. We ended up checking those off more in the second semester, but yeah, it was great.
So on February 1st, a little over a month ago, you guys are 7-13 on the year, pretty much going nowhere.
Yeah.
And then you win 6 out of 7 to finish the season. Just talk a little bit about that run.
Yeah. I think that we kind of came to a point, I would say my personal point was at William Penn. And I feel like our team, we were kind of at a point where just like, we can't keep thinking about like the outcome of this season. We just need to play in the moment and play our game and stop worrying so much about future things. And, you know, these girls are so driven and they just really want the best for the season and for each other. And so I think that was a really good point for us just to reevaluate. And even after that, you know, it was kind of rough, but we knew we had a schedule that we could compete well in. And so I think we just put those like personal desires, goals, and those types of things on the back burner. And we were able to just play for each other and play the best that we could each game. And honestly, it turned out the best that it possibly could.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's difficult as a first-year head coach. You're really just trying to establish a culture, establish what you want done, you know, on and off the court. You had a pretty good core of seniors and some juniors sprinkled in there that really helped you to establish what you want to do here at MBU.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're like such a blessing. Those girls are great. And I'm so blessed that we had the group we had this year that really did just buy into some of the silly things that I was saying and some of the things that I think are just really important, whether they believe that or not. They just did it. And like I said, I don't even know if they believe it or not because they just did it and they didn't complain about it. And I think that's what a good team does. And I think that we really built the trust amongst each other and that unity. And by the end of the season, I was just like, I don't know if I've seen a closer group of girls. And what's really cool is that we have a good core returning next year that I think is just going to be able to carry that same energy and, you know, that same buy-in and help our younger group, because we're going to have a really young group next year, just kind of grow into their roles.
And one of the things about establishing that culture is, and I think it's a credit to you, you did it with, to put it bluntly, girls that weren't yours. You know, the girls that were holdovers from, you know, a coach or 2 coaches ago, even, yet you got them to buy in to what you wanted them to do. That had to mean a lot to you for them to actually just, all right, this is our coach. We're going to do it her way, and we're going to, you know, come together as a team.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I've learned that a lot in my coaching career under really good head coaches who I've seen like what good culture is. And I've even had some of my head coaches that I really look up to text me like, culture is way more important than any game plan. And that was like a good reminder for me all season. Is like, you're right, because the longevity of this program, I want it to look really good right now and to grow into, you know, honestly, I didn't even think it would be this good as it ended up being culture-wise this year. But I think that those girls, when I came in, I think I always told myself that I'm not going to have the mindset that they're not mine, because I took the job knowing that they were here and knowing that I was going to take on people that I didn't necessarily bring. But my job here is more than just coaching. It's just to pour into these girls and love on them. And I think that I just get to use basketball to do that. So it didn't matter who it was. I was just going to pour into them and love on them like they were my own. And so I think that was the focus. And then that helped us in the long run anyways. I genuinely think that's what wins games. And that's what every championship team I've ever seen it's more than basketball. It's like pouring into them and loving on them.
Mm-hmm. You are finishing now, or did just finish, your first year ever as a head coach. And they always say those 18 inches that you slide to the right or to the left, it's a big transition to go from an assistant to a head coach. What has been the easiest thing for you as you've gone from, assistant to head coach? What's been the easiest part, you think? And you know what's coming next. So, the easiest part.
The hardest.
Yeah.
I would say the relationship aspect. I think when I was an assistant, I was always scared to be a head coach because I thought, oh, I'm going to have to be the mean one and I'm not going to have the same relationships that I could have as an assistant. And a lot of people told me, no, you just get to be you. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, oh, you're right. So I think coming here, I just always had to remind myself, like, just be you. Like, you don't have to hold back. You can just like be comfortable in the relationship aspect of this career and basketball. And I think, from player to coach, assistant coach to head coach, like, I think that is the one thing that's been easiest for me the whole time because I'm just a relational person.
So the biggest learning curve, what's been the biggest challenge or the biggest aha moment for you as a head coach?
I absolutely hate confrontation, and I hate when there's like issues that I have. It wrecks me. So I'm like, okay, this year I grew so much in just being like okay in chaos.
Adversity.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah. And I think that's important because like from the start really until, now, like, I mean, there's big and small bumps along the way. And I think that just being like okay and content in adversity is really good. And then holding that like calm energy so that the players don't feel like we are just all over the place. I think that was a way that I really grew this year. And I'm hoping that went into our team a little bit, that they felt calm in the chaos too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we kind of close the book on, the 25-26 season, let's look ahead. I know we can't probably talk specifically about some of the girls, but you're excited about what you have coming in for next year as you start to really kind of build, I would consider, your first recruiting class.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We're really young, but I think that I have a really good grip right now on what our team needs and the places that we need to fill. And so it's kind of fun because I just get to almost like fill those spots opposed to just recruit everybody and we'll just see what happens type thing. And so, getting a point guard in here, getting another post in here with, losing some of those spots. I think that's like the most exciting thing. And I think the group that's coming in are really like culture kids. And so aside from skill and talent that I know they have, I think that they are going to really like pour into the culture and pour into what I would like to see as far as, being in the top 20 in the next 3 or 4 years. That would be ideal. So I think that these are the type of kids that are going to help with that.
So the season has ended, but basketball season never really ends. You're on to the next, so what do the next, say, 6 months look like for you? I mean, what's now and what's, in a couple months and what's in 5 months for you and the team?
Lots of recruiting and then just lots of like skill building in the off season for our players. I mean, honestly, just like continuing, like yesterday we had another volunteer event and just trying to find ways to continue to build into our community in the off season when we're not so busy, because we're in season, it's so hard stuff, but just finding ways to do that so that we can build a better connection with those around us. And also that just helps with recruiting too, to have that connection with other people and be able to get kids in here that are local that, want to come to MOBAP. And so I think like that's an important part of like building this program is doing things like that with our players. But yeah, honestly, just like getting our skills up and making sure that we're ready for what's to come next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, appreciate the time today and all season long.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Taylor Jacobsen, and this has been the Coaches Show on the Spartan Digital Network.